Node 564560 connected to Node 564562.
This is K9PQ on the 08 repeater, standing by for the 8 o'clock net.
K87ZYM, K9PQ, full copy on your audio.
Thanks, Dave. I have a fan running in the background. I'll try to remember to turn it off when I transmit. I know it's not much, but I'll turn it off.
Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. And I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. The
Western Washington Amateur Television
Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that to the airways
with digital amateur
in the DVB-T format. We transmit on 70
on 70 centimeters
to a crossband repeater on Cougar Mountain, which spits out images at 1.2 gigahertz.
2 gigahertz.
More about our group, please Google
Please Google WW7
TS, that's Google
Google
WS. That
That will take you to our
Internet.
homepage on the internet. There you will see the exact frequency.
transmit and receive on. Also, you'll find a link to YouTube.
Where we stream our nets held
These-
Tuesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock.
We simulcast our audio
On WWSTR
air repeater 137.08.
08 with a tone of 103.5.
With that out of the way,
By the way, I'll pause in case anybody
emergency traffic on these.
or needs to make a contact before we get fully underway.
This is Dave, KD7ZYM.
I am.
This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net.
Society Net. I'm Dave, KD7.
YM.
So far,
Video link is Ron.
link is Ron, KD7. Bob, K9PQ, and Bothell.
Wade, W7.
7ITL in Tacoma. Jim, N7QO in Covington.
And myself, Dave, KD7ZYM.
Is anybody else wishing to check in?
Good evening, Dave. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
Thank you, James, WU7N. Let's start off the net with Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dave. This is Ron, KD7QKU. Yeah, there my picture comes up. So anyway, I'm over here in North Tacoma. Let's see. I was watching a movie. It was pretty good. And now I have the CMA, Country Music Awards on. We always enjoy this program. We like country music. So anyway, I was trying to think what I've done since the last time. Not very much, that's for sure. Anyway, so I guess I'm just going to turn it back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for
QKU, thanks for that. Let's move
Okay.
on to Bob, K9PQ. What say you, Bob? This is KD7ZYM. Let's see, calling Bob, K9PQ to the net. And no response on K9PQ. Let's move on to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
All right. We've got audio. been experimenting with this new operating system. I think Lee knows what it's all about if he's listening. Mint. It's really. It's not complicated. I tried other distros like Arch Linux and Debian and Ubuntu, but this one seems to be the most stable, most closely to Windows performance. I would say it's better than Windows most of the time. Well, today, just working, and the last hour or so I've been working on improving my mesh core repeater. I got some new patch cables. They're little jumpers. A little thicker than what I had going into the base antenna. I got about 1 or 2 dBs better performance, so I think it's a win. With my networking up there on the roof, it's I think water got into the network cables, so re-terminate the cables and plug them in, because I use a little Raspberry Pi to do telemetry over the internet back to our monitoring server we have, and it's not working that. But we'll get that fixed. And besides that, I'll turn it back to Dave, Net Control, and probably have some more things to talk about in the next round. Christmas is coming, and my wife has already put me on the hook for getting a tree, so we'll see when I do that. All right. Back to Net Control.
W7 ITL, thanks for that. Let's pick up Jim in Covington, N7QO.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, heard a little bit of an echo on a couple of people. Wade, I saw you just before the net. I didn't hear any audio at that time, but I heard you just fine this go around. So far the television repeater has been freezing up on me a little bit, but it seems to be a little bit more stable right now. So we'll see how that progresses. I don't know why, but sometimes at the beginning of the net it doesn't seem to be as good as it is. Like right now, it just froze. And it froze for 4 seconds. Now it's frozen again. It froze for 4 more seconds. Well, it froze again. Anyway, not a whole lot to report here. I'm glad about the weather. It's a little bit cold, but I don't mind cold as long as it's not raining or snowing at the same time. And I did go out and run a bunch of errands today, so I feel like I accomplished something. Let's see, I do have the heat running here. It was a little bit chilly in the shack, but I got it heated up. And I guess for right now, I'll just go back to Net Control, KD7ZYM, N7QO.
N7QO, thanks with that. Let's pick up James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
Well, thank you, Dave. This is James, WU7N. Well, the big question I had, I got distracted here. I heard everything, the high praise from Wade about the Linux that is all the end of all Linuxes. What's the name of that Linux again? That's the part I missed. Go ahead, Wade.
It's called Linux Mint.
Okay, I got Linux Mint. All right, thank you very much. Well, apparently Bob's having problems getting onto Echolink. Apparently, I just saw a text here or something about the repeater's not dropping or something. So maybe we give it a few more extra seconds to see if that clears. I'm going to get on my phone and see if I can get on Echolink or see what happens with that. Well, gosh, so much has happened in the past 5 days. I drove to California, all 800 miles and back again. Did the 800 miles down there in about 13 hours. We didn't have quite as good a luck on the way home, so that took, I think, I don't know, I didn't keep track exactly, but maybe 14 or 15 hours. Got to bed a little bit after midnight Tuesday morning, spent Tuesday recovering, slept well Tuesday, and then got up and tackled the day again today, Wednesday. So other than that, let's see, that was kind of a big adventure, and that was to assist a family friend. So we were able to get down there, and he could see his loved one before they passed away. It was kind of a sudden thing, but that was good. Hot news tonight. You'll probably all laugh at this. I bet everybody on the net knows this except me, but Temu, TEMU.com, has a really sophisticated bait and switch system on their website. I was looking for a piece of electronics. They had it. It was a really good price. So I say, okay, well, I'll order it. They say, but wait, if you just order a few dollars more, then you get free shipping. So there was actually something else there I could use, so I added that. Then I go to checkout, and I guess they're hoping you don't notice the original item. Oh, it's out of stock. It's not available. Sorry. But then they add shipping onto the little ding-dong thing I added on to get free shipping. I noticed that and said, okay, no, you're not getting me on this one. So if anyone else has had similar experience, or if you all already know that about TEMU.com, you can tell me all about it. So this is James, WU7N. With that, I'll turn it back to Dave, our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society.
WU7N, thanks with that. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net. Well, for me today, I was sitting back on YouTube looking at
train rides.
Seeing
how train rides in America looked with Amtrak.
But while I was doing that,
I found out they also had some train rides inside China with the high-speed trains. I thought that was interesting, so I tuned into that and watched that. And then also they had something from North Korea for train travel. That also was kind of interesting to see. Really repressed in North Korea, but the Chinese bullet trains are really fantastic, but the
night accommodations are not as well
as Amtrak has to offer.
So that was kind of interesting to see that. I was just amazed
at the amount
on YouTube with traveling with trains. And then at home I did get some domestic chores done, and that was kind of a relief for the day. So that's about it. So I'm going to send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, thank you, Dave. KD7QKU here. Well, it's always nice to see everybody. Good evening, everybody. I only see two people on the computer. So anyway, a small group tonight. Bob, I guess, was having trouble getting in, so maybe he got that straightened out. So anyway, you can see I got a haircut on Tuesday. Usually the barber's really busy on Tuesday. I went down about 2 o'clock, and there was this one guy, and he was finishing him up, and I got right in, got my hair cut. So that was good. Just haven't done too much. Been walking around the neighborhood. I've done that 3 times this week, every day this week. I have a little problem with my right ear. I sleep on my right side, and my ear gets sore all the time. So I made an appointment to see the dermatologist. I go in tomorrow. So I don't know if I got a problem. It kind of heals up and then it gets sore again. And so I don't know. I'll find out tomorrow, I guess, if there's something going on. I freed up my camcorder so I could take some pictures, but I haven't gone out and taken any pictures yet. I haven't really gone any. But we went over to our Joanne's sister and brother-in-law and watched the Seahawks game. And I'd taken my iPad so I could watch the Chiefs. So they lost. They're pretty much knocked out of contention this year. They haven't played well at all. So, James, I don't know what you're using, but man, you just boomed in. Of course, Dave's audio is always low, so I had to turn it up. And then when you and Jim N7QO, both of you put out fantastic signals, just blew me out of the room. So I had to turn the radio down. So anyway, I got 43 degrees here. It's another cold evening. So I'm just going to turn it back to Dave. W7ZYM in the group, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks for that. Let's try Bob again, K9PQ, and we can take you on the 2 meters if you're available.
Hey, well, it's working. It actually started working pretty much right after my last turn. I don't know why. It's very unlikely, I think, that Echolink was the problem. It sounds like the repeater, the 08 repeater, actually was not dropping. But it's possible it was Echolink or somewhere in between, but it's working now. So anyway, let's see. I have moved up to Kitsap Memorial State Park, one I had never heard of. I think there are a few now that I've stayed at that I had never heard of. But this one is just north of Polsbo by a few miles, and they seem to have some kind of large, ability for large gatherings. They've got something they called something like the log house. I forget exactly, but it's really big, and they have weddings there, and then they have a big open grassy field. Like if it's nice weather, you could have the rest of it there, so you could reserve, I suppose, for a wedding and reception. Not happening this time of year, that's for sure. There's darn few people. I'm here because it was kind of close by, and they have full hookups, so that's a nice thing. I absolutely require electricity this time of year. I technically don't need it, but I'd go through a lot of propane if I was not using the electricity. So this helps me conserve the propane, and I just have a nice little plug-in space heater that I bought that I use to keep the place warm, and it does great. Does all I need, and I'm confident it would be good enough all the way down to freezing, at which point I wouldn't want to be in here anyway because I'd be worried about the pipes freezing. I'd be winterizing at that point. But yeah, it's a decent place. It's nothing fancy, that's for sure. But it's on Hood Canal, and I got here late today, so I haven't gone down to take a look around yet, but I will in the next few days. I'm here for a week. Things are progressing. We have a fully signed contract now for buying the place in Oak Harbor, so that is now mine for the taking. We have till December 15th to come up with the money, and we shouldn't get anywhere close to that. We should have the money by around December 1st is what I expect. So all is going well there. We're progressing forward with getting the loan, and so it's just kind of the wheels have to turn. So it's it's making me giving me butterflies a little bit from time to time, and also making me sort of antsy. You know, it's like when I was just waiting for a tenant and I felt like I had to wait forever, I was pretty, stoic about it. But now that I know things are going to happen, and they're going to happen pretty soon, I want them to happen right now. So anyway, that's me. James, good for you taking your friend down there, or taking the family friend. That's great, especially for that purpose, to make sure they can say goodbye. I have not used, I don't know if it's Temu or Timu. I don't know if I've actually heard it pronounced, but I have seen it. I know it exists, and I know it's a cheap way to get stuff from Asia. That's about all I know. But yeah, that, I don't know if I would call that a scam, but it's certainly not a very good way for them to be doing business. That say, hey, add this to get free shipping, and then, oops, by the way, this is out of stock. But we'll still sell you the other thing. As for Linux Mint, yeah, I'm looking a lot harder at Linux these days. I think a lot of people are with what Windows is doing with Windows 11. They're just getting more and more intrusive and really bothersome. So Linux Mint is high on my list. There's one that sounds very interesting to me called Pop OS, and it's POP!_OS, which is a stupid name, but anyway, that's what they have. And it's but it has some nice features as far as windowing, which I might go for. I'm going to test a few out after I get back in my home, and I can just play around and do stuff like that. I don't feel like it out on the road here. Okay, well, that's kind of a long one, but I was making up for lost time with the missing the last transmission. So I'll send it back up to you, Dave. This is K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks with that. And it's time to get a quick ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. So let's go to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
All right, let's see if I have the echo anymore. Oh, that was weird. It sounded like a voice changer there for a second. Let's see. I wanted to show off this little gadget that I've been working on. It's called a Icoca stick. It's a mesh core node. I mean, also it can be used on a mesh tastic. Anything a mesh core does, mesh tastic does too. But let's see if I can zoom in on this. I've been kind of trying to get used to Linux Mint's software controls. I've had to do a lot of things in software on OBS. So I took off the little board. There's usually a board attached on the left, and but I didn't have this little gadget that I'll show off if I can find it. Here we go. Go up. So yeah, I'll turn the zoom off. I have autofocus on me. There we go. Yeah, this is a little, and it works really. Pads all at once for like discrete ICs, like this little guy here. This is the little board that I had unsoldered from that Icoca stick, and it's a little radio. It's a LoRa radio. The one that I replaced it with has supposedly a SAW filter in it, so it was supposed to make my my radio more sensitive and more immune to interference. But because the first time I took it off, I used just heat from my solder gun, and I vice at Harbor Freight for $15. Works really good. I wouldn't recommend it for big ICs. You got to use the plate, otherwise you're going to scrape your solder mask off. So I bought some solder masks, UV, or whatever you call it, and I'm going to fix the solder mask because I was able to get all the solder bridges off from when I scratched the board. And I can show you where the scratch is. Let's see if I can get it right. It's really hard to see. If you look to your right, there's a little piece of the ground plane that got chipped away when I was trying to pry that IC off the top. Resin on that open solder mask and cure it, and then let's turn off this focus. See if the focus comes back. There we go. I'm refocusing. So, yeah, that's what I was working on. There was something else. Oh, yes. Might as well talk about Cougar Mountain. So, I'll just kind of briefly talk about it. So I went up there with Rob Saturday night, and or was that Friday? Oh, it was Friday. And we worked there from about 11 a.m. till about 6. And we were replacing coax, not coax, but Cat5 cables with shielded. So I replaced all the Cat5 for the networking up there, for all the critical equipment with shielded Cat6. So still some work to be done up there. I'll talk more about it on the next round. I think I'll turn it back to Dave, our net control. This is W7ITL.
W7ITL.
Let's move on down to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Wade, thank you for mentioning Linux Mint. It does seem to me that I heard Lee give praise to that as well. Jim, California and back, thank you for assisting a family friend there. I don't believe we were actually expecting you back tonight, so thank you for showing up. And sounds like you were pretty darn busy driving there. Temu.com, yeah, that I have to agree with you. That sounds like a bait and switch. I have never actually purchased anything from them, but I have certainly looked at their website quite a bit. Lots of little things to buy, but I never got around to it. Dave, thanks for mentioning the train rides. My wife might actually appreciate going on YouTube and watching some videos of that. She had us take a couple of train rides here and there over the past few years. I don't know, this Christmas train to Leavenworth and something else. Don't remember what. Right now, I would absolutely stay out of North Korea. I don't think it's a good idea to go there at all. I would bet that our government probably has a warning on that. And I don't know, I have mixed emotions about going to China right now. But I don't know. Yeah, I've been on the bullet train in China before. And yeah, it's pretty cool. But I don't know. It gets you where you want to go quickly, I guess. Let's see, Ron, you were wondering, good picture and good audio from you whenever the ATV repeater is not frozen. good audio from you all the time on 2 meters, but the television repeater is still freezing from time to time on me tonight. Bob, excellent audio from you on both 2 meters and the ATV repeater, once again when it's not frozen. Yes, electricity is good. And congratulations on the renter and Oak Harbor still looking good. We'll keep our fingers crossed for you on that. Wade, saw a couple of pictures of that Icoca stick. That looks good. Your audio is dropping off there both on 2 meters and on the television repeater from my location, so I missed some of what you said there, but it wasn't clear to me if you wanted to just remove that one chip or if you want to make it usable again. I have just cut chips completely off of the board and then just removed the remaining pin in the past. That works if you're not going to need to reuse the chip, of course, but that's one way to avoid messing up the board. And a number of times that I needed to just remove a signal on one leg of a chip, and so just cut that and then you can resolder it back if necessary. I've done that before too. Thanks for the work at Cougar. I guess a work in progress, a little better every time, but good luck with the mesh project there. Looks like it's something kind of fun. I hope it's not too frustrating for you, but thanks. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. And the net acknowledges Richard K7ITX is signed on. Coming up next is James WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
Well, thank you, Dave. This is James, WU7N. Well, big congratulations to you, Bob. That was fantastic news when I heard it, but I'll say it again. And I really think, you are visiting parks with trailer places that I've never heard of. I think you really should blog this, write this down, I don't know, make a YouTube video, because it's really interesting to me, the places that you're going and places I didn't even know existed, and they're have some kind of place for a trailer hookup. I think people might like to know about that.
Node 329.
And big thank you to Wade and Bob for all the work up at the site up there. We all certainly do appreciate that. And if you ever want more help, put the word out. I could stand there and hold a flashlight or something. So I really do appreciate all that work. Let's see. The adventure down south was to get someone to see. It was a friend of the family and in their 70s, and nobody should be driving 13 hours straight all by themselves. The original plan was to trade off driving responsibility, but the first 20 minutes, the other person got a little confused on a freeway where it split and almost put us into what's called ironically, the gore point, which is that little pointy part when on a freeway on-ramp or where a freeway splits, that little pointy part, the official name for it is the gore point. Well, he almost put us in that, so I drove the entire way after that, and I drove the entire way back home, which was great. No big problem with that because I was in a really, really nice RAV4. It even had features like radar-enhanced cruise control, a very comfortable seat, so it was a great car to drive. Just driving my little 15-year-old Honda Civic roller skate back from his house to my house, very early morning or like late at night on Monday night really taught me that, yeah, there's a difference between the 15 years and, and probably, a huge amount of money difference in the cost of the vehicles. It was a rental, and it really was a nice ride. It was so smooth, you could end up going like 80 miles an hour and not even realize you were doing it. So anyway, it kind of a long haul, certainly very stressful, but I was happy to help out there, and it all went really pretty well. So this is James, WU7N. Let me turn it back to Dave here. I say it's 8:35, and with the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Next time around, let me see if I can get the OBS going, get a picture going here. Take it away, Dave.
WU7N, thanks with that. And again,
this is the Western
Amateur
Television Society Net.
Late machine again. I'm Dave. Katie.
Dave, KD7ZYM.
And boy,
it's been an exciting day.
Said I got
here, as I said, I got on YouTube, and I was amazed at the amount of footage I could find on YouTube
that allowed you to see what was going on
train rides
of the U.S. and
foreign
trains.
So
as a
small child, my parents
for the SPNS
railroad
about
4 years old, and we got a chance to ride around on a lot of chairs.
They were in the commissary department, and they were in the outriding camps
where the train crews were repairing tracks or laying down new tracks.
And so they ran the commissary for the food, but that also gave them free access to train rides anywhere around. I remember the train tracks as I was sleeping in the car.
The cars at night.
It's exciting for me anyway, and that brought up memories when I found they had train rides on
YouTube. So
I'll check it out and see what's happening there. It's brought back a lot of memories. So that was happening there. And Bob, wow, at Kipsat State Park. Powwow at that roundhouse they have there, and celebrate your mortgage getting into your new home. So anyway, it's there for you. We'll have to all come over and visit you there and have a big celebration. This is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City, where I've got 45 degrees and cloudy outside and dry weather. So I'm going to move it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
in Tacoma.
Okay, see if I come on here. There I am. All right, well, thank you very much, Dave. Good to see Richard tonight. I'm glad he joined us. And Bob, it sounds like you're going to be in Whitby before you know it. That's good. Yeah, and all those campgrounds you've been staying in, a lot of them I haven't heard of either or never been in, but it's been pretty nice. So anyway, like I say, I've been trying to watch TV here. So I think I'll say good night, and I'm gonna go watch this TV program. So I just don't have a lot to say. I just don't do much anymore, I haven't been driving the Corvette or anything last couple of weeks. I put the trickle battery charger and battery maintainer on it and the pickup. I met a new neighbor today when I went for a walk. Asian fellow. He moved down here and bought this house, a really nice house, beautiful kitchen in it. The people that lived there, the lady passed away. The guy's name was Bob, and he was 90 years old, so his wife was probably about the same. I never really knew him very well. I got a letter in the mail one day that belonged to them, so we hadn't lived here too long, so I walked up and rang their doorbell, and a lady's voice said, "Come on in. The door's open." And so I opened the door and stuck my head in. Well, there was a hospital bed in the living room, and that's where she was, and she wasn't doing very well. I guess he was out running chores. So she passed away. We didn't really hardly even know she passed away, which was kind of a shame. Since we've been here, we just haven't got, well, we see the neighbors and say hi to them, but we just haven't got, really friendly with very many of them. It's just too bad. I was talking to the lady kind of behind us the other day, asking about one of the other neighbors, and I kind of started to tell her who I was, so she wouldn't, maybe, so she'd know who I was. I wasn't some kook or something. And she said, "Oh no, I know who you are." So she knew who I was and where I lived. Just, our backyards almost touch. But anyway, and she's a single lady. Her husband died. So anyway, I'm going to say 73s, and nice seeing you guys and hearing your story. So I'll say 73, and we'll see you on Saturday night, I guess. This is KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, thanks with that. We got your 73s. Wish you well. Let's pick up Bob again. K9PQ.
Okay, well, thanks everyone for the congratulations, and yeah, I'm very excited about this, and I certainly have been staying in parks I had never heard of before. Some I wasn't too surprised by. Illahee, where I just was by Bremerton, I guess I wasn't too surprised there was one by Bremerton, but Kitsap Memorial State Park, I still don't know what the memorial is. I'll see if I can get back to you guys on that on Saturday. But just a strange name for a park. It's the county name, and memorial. It's like a fairgrounds or something, is what you would think, instead of a state park. But anyway, yeah, it's fine here. It's very basic. It's interesting to see how different a lot of these places are. This is the second one I've found that's very much like a very, very basic RV park, where it's basically flat ground and with a gravel road and gravel strips coming off of the road to back your trailer in. But it does have the full hookups. It's got electric, water, and sewer, and so it's great as far as that goes. You don't find that at very many state parks, that combination of having all three. A lot of state parks have electric and water, and they all have dump stations. I think, and I think probably all the state parks have dump stations, but I couldn't say that for sure. Like Lake Sammamish State Park, maybe not. I don't know. But and there are probably other state parks that are day use only that would not certainly have it. But yeah, it's really, really nice to have that. The biggest deal on that is I don't have to conserve my water. Even when it has electric and water, I'm always worried about filling up the tanks. And now, with the gray water, you just leave it open, like from the sink, and so I can just run water in the sink and not even think about it. Just like I'm at home. Maybe more than when I'm at home, because it's a luxury. Let's see. I thought I had something else. Oh, visiting me at Oak Harbor. So, yeah, for those that don't remember, my Oak Harbor home is 600 square feet. That does not include the garage, so the garage is probably half again that. I don't know exactly how big it is, but it might be about half the size of the whole place. But I actually would love to have, if we can arrange it, have people come up as a group, because they have a fantastic clubhouse, really, really good. And it's a great place to hang out. I don't think they'll let me put up an antenna in the clubhouse. In fact, they won't let me put up an antenna anywhere, but I'm going to put a loop, a big loop around the roof line, and I will probably buy a mag loop. I had one years and years ago and loved it. and it would be great. I could put it up in the attic and it would be hidden. No one would know about it, and it would probably do me just fine. I feel like there's something I'm missing, but anyway, just great to hear everybody, and I will send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks with that. Al, let's move on to Richard. ATX, what say you, Richard?
Well, I'd like to start off by congratulating Bob on his good fortune so far, assuming everything ends the way we all hope it does, and coming up to visit him in Oak Harbor, and James, boy, that's pretty thoughtful on your part. And speaking of almost landing in the gore point, God dang, normally I drive Debbie's car when I'm riding with her. I don't know, maybe it's just the macho thing to do. But in Phoenix, when I was recovering from my lung transplant, the matriarchal aspect of her taking care of me would take over, and she would drive. But oh my God, one time she just wasn't following signs correctly, and I was always kind of nervous about saying anything, for fear of causing more trouble than it was worth. But we ended up in the Gore Point on a major freeway in Phoenix, and talk about being scared out of your wits. It was horrific. And finally someone, honked their horn and flashed their lights and said, "Get out of there, get in front of us right away." And I had to tell Debbie, "Get going, they're letting you in, get going." Holy Toledo. And then after all that, she didn't think it was a big deal. She said, "Oh, that wasn't that big of a deal, was it?" Oh my God. So anyway, so that being said, let me take a little break. So that being said, I am shopping, and we are shopping for a new car, and fully electric. We're looking at I got my eye on what's called the Ford Mustang Mach-E GT, and it's fully loaded with all the bells and whistles, in particular that hands-free driving that I've been squawking about. And I'm going to be taking a close in-person look at it tomorrow, and maybe some other cars. But when I'm reading about the Mustang fully electric, particularly the GT version, which has got the enhanced battery system, it just seems like the way to go, for just not having to go to the gas station anymore. I mean, you're basically filling your tank every night. It sits in the garage, and it's not like we're going to be going on any trips to Arizona in it, or we have to worry about. I mean, it seems like the 300 miles that it's good for. Maybe it's in the cold weather, it might be closer to 250, but it seems like that's going to be plenty for around town during the day. So, and her edge, as I described to you, what we went through with just replacing a light bulb, got me to thinking, you only live once. Or how's that go? You only live twice? Well, anyway, you only live once. You can't take it with you. So get it while the getting's good. So that's my thinking right now. So with that, K7ITX back to net control.
K7ITX, thanks with that. Let's move on to Wade, W7ITL in Tacoma.
All right, there we go. Well, I was going to show some stuff to you guys so you can kind of see what mesh core looks like on the computer. Let's see if it'll pop in here in just a second. All right, so this is a picture of kind of like it's like a command console of all the different activity on the mesh. This one is just focused on my repeater on my roof. So this is all the stats. There's some blips in there because I'd had to take the telemetry capturing device off because it was having problems with PoE. So kind of show you kind of some of the other stuff that it does. So this is full capture of all the different nodes that are talking right now on the mesh core network. If we go to channels, we can see what people are saying. This is all captured off the air. So there's a guy that maintains this. He basically just has a radio and it's listening to all the traffic on the mesh network. So you got different people talking. You got different channels. You got the testing channel. And granted, this is all just over the air. There's no internet involved, other than me just showing you what you can do with the stuff. So these are just different channels. And here's Cougar. If you want to see what Cougar does, Cougar's mesh core network repeater. And here on the right, you can see all the different nodes that it hears all the time. Each one of these dots is either a client or a repeater that it can hear recently. All the way over here is Olympia. I think that's Black Hills. Let's see if we can, Black Hills Center. And then our buddies down in Portland. Let's see if I can get Portland on here. I don't have Portland set to show you, but we have activity all the way down in that area as well. So these are just the points that Cougar can hear. And to kind of top it off here, we just got done putting Haystack Mountain online, and this is all the stuff that it hears. It's amazing. Some high radios up on a mountaintop. I think that's all I got left to show. Let's see. Other than that, there is an event going on this weekend that our club is signed up to participate. You don't have to participate. It's just that our club is on the map. It's called I think it's called Repeater Roundup, and basically people use the repeaters to gain points for making contacts. So that's happening this Saturday and Sunday. Our repeaters on the list. If you want to check out, if you Google Repeater Roundup, you can see our club on the roster. So that's all I got. Nice to see everybody tonight. Ron, hopefully the game that you're watching, I think you said you were going to go watch a game. It's good, and it's nice to see and hear everybody tonight. So I'll say 73.
W7ITL, thanks with that. We got your 7-3. Let's move on to Jim, N7QO, Covington.
N7QO. Thank you, Dave. Well, Wade, don't know what you did. It seems like you did something. The television repeater was working very well. Okay, having said that, it just started freezing up now. Your last transmission, I heard you flawlessly over the television repeater, but we got no audio from you over 2 meters. Thank you for mentioning repeater roundup. I will look at that. I'm going to be occupied this weekend. I don't know what my wife has me doing, but I know she has something planned for this weekend. Let's see. Jim and Bob. Jim, I think that's an excellent suggestion that you made to Bob about the Washington State Parks. Bob, you should write a book of some sort about features at the various Washington State Parks. That sounds like a good little project. Yeah, 600 square foot house. Oh my goodness, that would fit in my living room. But if they've got a clubhouse there, that might be pretty cool for us to all drop over there sometime. Let's see here. Ron, yeah. I think part of the problem, it seems to me like you moved right around the time of the pandemic, didn't really have enough time to get to know everyone, and everyone began isolating. The pandemic was definitely not good for anyone's social life. So at least you got to meet the neighbor before she passed away. And let's see. I think you're going to go watch the Country Music Awards. Yeah, I'm recording that, so I'll watch that. Maybe not tonight, but sometime. My wife also has us recording the series by Ken Burns on the American Revolution. I think today's episode 3, maybe. If I remember correctly, it's a 6-part series. Pretty interesting. It diverges a little bit from what I remember out of my history classes, but I have to say that history was probably my worst course. Let's see. Dick, good to hear you. Excellent audio from you on both 2 meters and on the television repeater. Talk about a frightening drive. Yeah, I think it's always more frightening if you're the passenger. I'm not sure why that is, but that seems to be my observation anyway. And Ford Mustang, my father had a Ford Mustang many years ago. Yeah, I liked it. Of course, it was not at all electric. I think it was a 1970 vintage, if I'm not mistaken. The biggest thing I did not like about it is that it was only a 2-door car, and the doors are much longer than if it were a 4-door car, and that makes it difficult to get in and out of the car in parking spaces. That was the big thing that I did not like about that vehicle. But you also mentioned you only live once. Yeah, I have to agree with that. My feeling is if I die with $100 in the bank, That's a steak dinner that I left on the table. Okay, nowadays with inflation, maybe it would be $150, but I don't know. So probably I will die with more than that left over, and my wife will spend the rest of it with her next husband. That's probably what's going to happen. I don't know. Oh my goodness, it's the witching hour. Good night, everyone. Back to you, Dave, and 7QO.
N7QO, thanks for that. And this is time to wrap up the net. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7ZYM. And this has been, as I said, the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net, broadcasting in digital amateur television in the DVB-T format. So with that, we'll pull a plug at 11:09:01. Again, thanks for attending the net. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, signing off the net. Good evening, all.
Node 3670028 disconnected.